What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Best Bet show. Sorry for the delay. My Wi-Fi is having some issues here, but we're trying to get it all fixed. Hopefully, it's not lagging and we are good to go. Probably less people in here now as they missed the boat and thought we didn't do it. But either way, let's talk NFL Thursday night. This is one of the best Thursday night games I think we've had all year long. This is ripe for the NFC West as well. You take a look at the standings. The Seahawks are 8-5, and the Rams are 7-6, and the Cardinals are both 6-7 with the 49ers at 6-7. If the Niners win today, they are 7-7. Same with the Rams, and would have split the series, and then it's a real race. If the Rams win, they go to 8-6, and the Niners would go to 6-8, which would basically almost knock them out of the playoffs. Not mathematically, but pretty much. So huge game for them to be undermanned. You look at the spread, the Niners at home get the 3-point nod of the favorite and a total of 48.5. Now, what are your thoughts on this game as a whole? Before we get into props, do you like the Rams or the Niners, and do you like the over-under here?
Yeah, first look for me, 48.5 point total. Pretty high. Obviously, the run game for San Fran, extremely banged up. They're starting Pat Taylor, right? Patrick
I think
Taylor.
Guerendo may still be
playing. I was going to say,
sure.
They're banged up there. I know Guerendo got hurt last week. If he's not able to go, the run game's probably going to be a lot of Deebo Samuel, I would assume. And they're probably going to have to pass more. So I like that sense, and I do think the books are showing but points in this game, which you don't traditionally see a 48.5 total for the San Fran like this. So I do think that's a good sign. A 3-point total kind of seems like a traditional line when it's a divisional game like this in San Fran. That seems right. I feel like if it was in LA, I think San Fran would be 1-point favorites. So interesting spot. I don't know if I'm comfortable betting the game yet. You know what I mean? I really don't know if I have a lean. I guess I would say I think the Rams are going to upset and win here.
I think the same thing, honestly.
But that's not a confident spot. I think I'm more confident in this week in the props just based off what they've posted so far. But I guess if I had to pick one, I'm saying Rams take this one.
Yeah, I think the Rams take it too. I think the Niners, they need CMC. They need – Elijah Mitchell, Jordan Mason, their running back room is just done. No Ayuk. A lot of these – and no Bosa. There's a ton of just – I feel like the vibes are just lower. They're on the downward trend, whereas the Rams, after just – in my mind, they put a beating on the Bills. I know they won by 2, but there's kind of a late comeback by the Bills, and they were dominating that game.
They look good.
44 points is crazy. I do think I may lean the under just because I feel like these divisional games get kind of gritty and gross. But it could be a shootout. I thought the Bills-Rams would be a little low-scoring game. That had 86 points in it.
The thing that's interesting, though, is are they going to be able to run the ball? We're not sure. And if they can't run the ball, that screams over. You know what I mean? Just off the normal pass plays they're going to be having to implement.
Yeah. I do think if the Rams are winning, it could go under because they could run the clock out and it'd be tough. I think if the Niners are playing, I think if the Niners are winning, they're scoring. So if you think the Niners win this game, I'd probably lean the over. If you think the Rams win, I think the Rams kind of play a little conservative late and try to win this game on the ground. But the Rams with Cooper Kupp and Puka just look so much better, and they've survived the time of them being hurt. Them being 7-6 right now is pretty impressive. Everyone says that division winners usually, or divisional games usually flip-flop. But in my opinion, the Niners won the first game because they allowed the Rams to come back and then sneak in a field goal, I think almost in overtime. I remember I had Jake Moody field goals in this game, and he missed a field goal, and that pissed me off, and then the Rams ended up winning. And I think they got the ball late on the last drive, and the Rams were able to return it into field goal range. So when you look at it that way, it's like the Niners had their chance to win, and they kind of blew it, whereas I think the Rams could be in charge in this one and maybe force the Niners to come back. I do think divisional games, I would love plus money. If you can get +3, I think this game could be decided by a field goal. So I think I'd take the points. And over-under, I'd probably stay away from. I think I do like the Rams more than a total here.
Another thing to note too, Chuck, Dre Greenlaw is back this week, which, I mean, we all saw his injury last season.
Yeah.
Fluke injury, those happen. It just absolutely sucks to see. But, I mean, he traditionally has been the guy, the anchor for this defense. I'm interested. Obviously, it's been a long time since he's played. I'm interested to see if they rally behind him and how the defense looks with him.
I think they will. Anytime you get a guy like that coming back, especially with the momentum they have, it's not like you're on the downward swing. It's, oh, maybe he'll save it. It's like you're already feeling good. Now you're getting more reinforcements.
Exactly.
I think it only allows them to come out fired up. I think them beating the Bills was a big win. Like, you don't come out more fired up than that.
Right.
I don't think it's a look-ahead game either. This is the game you look to. And it's going to be a tough schedule here for the Rams. I like McVay. And these games just seem gross. I think the Rams sneak it out. I am playing Brock Purdy over 4.5 rush attempts. I think it's my favorite play of the day. Again, I do think the Rams win, but there's always kneel potential here if the Niners do win. And you get one kneel or two kneels, this is going to soar over. Last week, he had 5 rushes against the Bears and a blowout win with 0 end-of-game kneels. And I do think he scrambles more. He scrambled 10 times, or he ran it 10 times versus the Rams, and they lost. So no end-of-game kneels there. That, to me, is a huge matchup thing. They're going to get pressure. And he's run the ball a ton. 5 of 7 home games, and that's including the one first week against the Jets where they blew him out and he had no reason to run. So competitive games, he's run more. I just absolutely love this with their lack of weapons. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's a good look. I also think, like someone just mentioned in the chat, Garendo's likely probably not going to get a huge workload on a short week with that injury that he just had. So, like, naturally, if they're passing, I think Purdy's has a 30.5 pass attempt line. If they're swinging the rock a little bit more, you're going to find more rush attempts naturally. So I do think
we see Debo sneak in the rush game.
Yeah, and Books kind of showed that. I mean, he had a 48.5 receiving line. That's what I got it at, and that's what it opened at. I'll get into that in a minute, but his rush receive was at 68.5. You don't usually see him at 21.5 rush yards, I think it's around 21.5, give or take on the book. So that shows he's going to be around the backfield a little bit.
I'm looking at Garendo rush attempts right now, 14.5. That's pretty high.
On a short week, too. I bet Taylor takes a few carries.
And if you think they're going to lose, that's even all the better. I mean,
it's one of those props, though. If the game script doesn't go your way, he could have 7 carries in the first quarter, and you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
he could get hurt again, though, too.
Yeah. It's interesting. I like that look. I think there's multiple good looks. Jawan Jennings is another guy I loved this week. 68.5 receiving yards was a good look. I didn't ultimately play. I went Debo's route instead, but he's a guy that a lot of people are playing. I'm just nervous because, like, he's filling in to do Ayuk's workload, and we've never really seen him be a 70-yard receiver. You know what I mean? Like, consistently.
Yeah.
I know he's capable, and I know he's a good player. It's just for a bet for me, I'm not super comfortable backing that. He'll probably soar over it, but just not one I'm comfortable putting money on.
I think I like that Garendo. Maybe do under yards or something. He's planning to play through a strained foot. I mean, that's easy to.
He could one tackle and he could be done.
Yeah.
No, I think the chat's right too. They're all commenting Taylor rushing yards, Taylor props.
I don't even see any. I don't see attempts on the book right here.
I think that's one. Once it gets closer to game time, we'll have an actual line, but.
I think you're right. I do see yards, actually. No, I don't. Not. I see Blake Corum at 18.5, 17.5. I don't see anything else.
I don't see anything for Taylor either.
But I think it's something to keep in mind. What are your favorite touchdown scorers today? I know that Kyron Williams is a popular pick. That's probably my favorite bet. Obviously, he's juiced. But from the Niners side, who do you see getting in the end zone?
I love Deebo Samuel this week. Rightfully so. The media has blown up what he said. I know he got copyright. What was it? Not copyrighted. He got guideline striked or whatever on Twitter for saying he's not been dropping passes, and he actually leads the league or leads his team. So I think it's one of those things where you see divas always come out in the media. They call out something like not getting touches or not being involved, and you see the team design multiple plays for him early and often. That's kind of the narrative I'm biting into. I like the matchup. Debo's cooked this Rams team in 6 of the last 7 times he's faced them. He didn't play the first time against them. So it just, to me, makes sense where they haven't seen him. They don't really know what to expect. Obviously, he's a great yards after catch guy. So I think he breaks a big one today. I really do. I'm on his receiving yards 50 plus, and then I love him to get in the end zone as well.
I like that. I'm a George Kittle guy. I don't need him for fantasy this week because your boy's on a bye, but it is what it is. Hopefully he
first round bye.
Yeah, but I do like George Kittle. I like Juwan Jennings. I think he's been a good red zone target too as well. I do think that they're gonna. I think Brock Purdy 2+ passing touchdowns may be in play today. I think they're gonna be throwing. I think Debo and Jennings are great spots. So, with that being said, is that who you're taking for your first touchdown score?
We cashed it last time I took Debo against the Seahawks, so I'm going right back to him. That's my pick for today, Debo Samuel.
I think I'm going to take someone on the Rams. I may have to go Kyren Williams.
It's a safe bet. I love Kyren today too. I think his rush yards is in play. He's got a 17.5 juiced rush attempts line, Chucks, that I also almost played. Didn't play it because it was a short week, but I mean,
I think I like it. I think I'm because he could also catch a pass too if he needs to.
And he's on the field so much. Like he's one of those RBs that just plays a ton.
My first touchdown score is going to be Kyren Williams. My Niners guy, if I had to pick, would probably be Debo or Juwan Jennings. So I like where our mind is at. Anything else you want to talk about in this game? Anything you like?
I think we got into it. I mean, Juwan Jennings going to be in a good spot. Just ultimately, it's a line that's quite high for a guy we haven't seen do it a ton. Obviously, he has before. I like Debo Samuel a ton. I'm on Kyren Williams rush yards here. I just think the Rams are going to utilize him by controlling the clock. I'm pretty comfortable on a short week with him. He had 100+ yards against them last year in the same exact spot. He had 89 rushing yards in the first game against them. So I feel pretty good with that line. Puka Nacua, another receiver that everyone seems to be playing this week. Rightfully so. It's a good matchup. I didn't play it, but I think he's a guy that's in play. I think there's a lot of good overs, which obviously could burn you, but I think this game total is kind of showing. I mean, Purdy's got a 254 pass yard line, Chuck.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's slinging that shit. So if they don't run the ball, I think this game could be huge. Like if they're unable to run the ball effectively, this game could be really, really good for betting overs today.
I actually completely agree. And usually we get like a Bears Patriots on Thursday night. This is a nice.
Yeah. I'm almost hoping Gurendo's not effective because if he's not, I feel like this Niners team's going to pass 35, 40 times, which ultimately is going to give a ton of plays for the Ram side. You know what I mean?
I completely agree. I think we stopped the clock there for the Niners a lot. I think I'm going to bet the Rams personally. I might live them if your boy's feeling a little frisky after a couple of drinks watching the game too, which usually tends to happen. But I do think the Rams take it. I like our spots. I think Debo gets in the touchdown the first time for the Niners. And I like Kyren Williams for the Rams. That's it for the show. Nice and sweet. Thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next time. Best of luck. Peace out.